Now we just talked about the difference between the Mosin Nagant and the Mauser K98K in terms of their disassembling their bolt. Just to recap on that, the Mauser's bolt, once simply disassembled, is more like disassembling a a screw, or more like a screw in its disassembly. And the Mosin Nagant is more like a puzzle where you have to shift things around to get them to fit in the right place and turn them and twist them. So I think the Mauser definitely scores points on the bolt disassembly and removal and simplicity in that regards. But we're going to move on now to the last segment of the video, which is the trigger pull here, which is going to drastically affect the accuracy, and which is, I think, one of the reasons why the Mauser is generally better than the Mosin Nagant. Now, that being said, I believe that the M44 has a little bit better of a trigger pull than the M9130. But the M9130 compared to the Kar98 here, first of all, the Kar98, I'm going to dry fire this. We're going to make sure that there's nothing in the chamber. Nothing's in the chamber. Now, when I dry fire this, the trigger pull on this is about, I don't know, 5 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds. Now when I do the same with the M9130, safety first, make sure there's nothing in the chamber so we don't have our arm go down range. When you pull it on the M9130, the trigger is just not as good. It's very heavy compared to the M91 or to the Kar98K. It's about 10 pounds, I'd say. 10 pounds. It's 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds. Usually it's 8 to 10 pounds, which is, you know, almost 2 times as heavy as the, you know, about 175%, about 2 times as heavy as the Kar98K. So when you're having to pull down harder on the trigger and you're firing, you know, at hundreds of yards away, it's going to affect the trajectory of the bullet ever so slightly. It would seem like ever so slightly when you're aiming, but it's going to affect it drastically when you're firing hundreds of yards away. Granted, this isn't going to make a difference when you're shooting, you know, house-to-house combat or, you know, 100 yards away. It's not going to make as much of a difference. Or urban, you know, like in Berlin or Kiev or, I don't know, you know, certain urban environments, it's not going to make as much of a difference. But when you're shooting at longer distances in trench warfare or in the mountains, for example, would be a really good one to point out. This is really going to make a difference. So basically the Mauser wins on the trigger as well. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching my YouTube channel and my second round of comparisons between the Mauser and the Mosin Nagant here. I hope I was a little bit more objective and holistic in my comparison between the Mosin Nagant and the Mauser here. You know, guys, I own 2 Mosin Nagants. There ain't nothing wrong with the gun for the price you get them for. You get them for about, I bought this M44 over here for about 149 bucks, I think it was. I don't know if I paid quite that much for it. It might have been about 139, but I think it was about 145, 149 bucks. This is a nice piece, though. I wouldn't think twice about using these, like, for example, if you're out hunting against a bear, or, you know, a black bear or anything like that. They're not bad guns. They are not bad guns at all. I own 2 of them and I like them a lot. But I'm just trying to point out that Mauser has got its advantages in terms of the bolt disassembly, the trigger, the safety, and the bayonet, which isn't going to affect trajectory as much. But I just am trying to let you know that while I think that the Mauser has got a lot of advantages in most of its points, the Mosin Nagant, I mean, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of one of these bad boys. So any more than I'd want to be on the wrong end of one of these Mausers. So, you know, I mean, just take it as constructive criticism, and hopefully, if you're considering buying a M44 or M9130 or a Kar 98K, it helps you out a little bit in determining, you know, which rifle suits you best. I really like this M44. It's really light. It's about 9 pounds, like I said earlier in my video, and it's very good carbine. In comparing it with the Mauser K98, I think the K98 has got a little bit better of qualities to it, generally speaking. That being said, the M44 and the Mosins, practically speaking, now when you're going into places like Gander Mountain or your local gun shop, I got these ones at the Danbury Log Cabin store in Danbury, Wisconsin. Well, I got the M9130 in Danbury, but I got this one at Gander Mountain. The M9130 was about $129, I think, or $125, something like that. You could buy 2 Mosins for the price, 2 to 3, depending. This one I have over here, this Kar 98K, is an all-matching serial number vet bringback, 1940 K98K. So, I mean, it's worth, I've heard, I don't know for sure, but it's worth, you know, maybe $700 to $1,000. That might be a little high, but you could buy, oh, let's see here, 4 of these, almost 3 to 4 of these rifles for the price of 1 Mauser. So if you're looking for a beater rifle, or if you're looking for, I'm not saying that these are necessarily beater in terms of quality, but I'm just telling you that it's better bang for your buck if you're a little strapped for cash, especially in this economy with the recession. You could, I mean, you can collect these suckers, where the Mausers are going to put you back a little bit. Like most things in life, you get what you pay for. So, but that being said, the Mauser or the M44 is definitely not a bad weapon. I think everybody should own a couple of these things, because there's, I mean, what, 30 million of these things floating around plus. So they're not bad guns at all by any stretch of the imagination. I just prefer the K98K for the reasons I just mentioned, and I wouldn't pay any more than about, for most of these M44s, any more than about 150, just to let you know, so I don't get any if I get any questions about the pricing. For Russian capture Mausers, usually I think they go for about 350. You can get them. I wouldn't pay any more than 400 for Russian cap. That's probably pretty high. They're probably gonna. Some of my friends on here, Kurt, you're probably gonna laugh at me when I say 400, but I'd say about 350 maybe. I'm not really in the market for them because this one was a vet bringback. Like I said, I have access to it whenever I want, but. The Mosin Nagants are pretty much the best buy you can get next to, I'd say, the SKS that I can think of right off the top of my head, or the AK, in terms of value. So I would not hesitate. That being said, with all the criticisms I have of this gun, for 150 bucks, you really cannot go wrong with this gun. You cannot. For 150 bucks, it is a steal. So, that being said, I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.